Assalamualaikum and a very good day. My name is Balqis Izazi binti AZRI. My metric number is 273246 and I am from group Power Rangers. I'm going to continue the biodata of Frank Abagnale Jr. Frank Abagnale Jr. was born on April 27, 1948 in Bronxville, New York, and he is the oldest among his 4 siblings. His parents was divorced when he was only 14 years old. When his parents was divorced, he moved in with his father, whom he has a close relationship with. Through his father, he learned about white-collar businesses, he attended a political events, and he also went to the salons, which most of businessmen gathered. On top of that, he also learned how to speak, dress, and act like an adult. At the age of 16, he moved to New York City. He became an imposter with many different identities. He is now live in Charleston, SC. He is married and he has 3 sons. The eldest son currently works for FBI. Throughout his adolescence, he was devastated because, like I said, his parents was divorced at a very young age. So he got mixed up with the gangster teens. Because of that, he got into some troubles and also committing petty crimes. His first acts of con artist was through his own father. He was charged around $3,400 to his father through his father charge card. Then he returned the items for cashback. His father found out about the charges and his father has to pay for it. His father was devastated because it is hurting him even more financially because at that time, his father's businesses was going down. Lastly, Frank told his father that he was trying to impress a girl. Because of that, his father was tired of Frank. So he decided to send Frank off to a boarding school. Frank ran away from the boarding school to New York City to live on his own. By then, he only had $200 of cash in his checking account. Next, I'm going to continue on how he becoming a con artist. With his little education and being underage, it is really hard for him to find a job. So, Frank being himself, he altered his driver's license to appear older and lie about his education background. He also started writing bad checks and cashing them to make ends meet. Shortly after, he decided to quit his full-time job to become a professional con artist. His first impersonation was a pilot with Pan Am Airlines. He was inspired after seeing a flight crew exit a hotel. So by then, he figured out that being a pilot were highly respected professionals. So he thinks that being a pilot is one of he could impersonate and it is likely for him to get caught. To be a pilot, Frank forged his pilot ID and FAA license. He also purchased a uniform and charged it into the company's account. The one thing that I like about Frank is that whenever he wants to impersonate something or someone, he did his research through everything, especially about flying, since he wants to impersonate a pilot. I'm going to show you the clip from the movie Catch Me If You Can, the one that he was pretended to be a student that doing a research paper so he could gather some information about Pan Am Airlines.
Frank. Hello. I'm Frank Black from Monroe High School, and I have an appointment with Mr. Morgan.
You're the young man who's writing the article for the school paper.
Yes, ma'am, that's me. I want to know everything there is to know about being a pilot. What airports does Pan Am fly to? What does a pilot make in the air, and who tells them where they're going to fly to?
Whoa, slow down. Just take them one at a time.
All right. What does it mean when one pilot says to another pilot, what kind of equipment are you on?
I just want to know what kind of aircraft you're flying. Is it the DC-8, 707, Constellation?
And what about those ID badges that I've seen pilots wear?
Well, every pilot has to have 2 things with him at all times. One is his airline personnel badge, looks just like this one here from Pan Am. The other one is their FAA license, and that looks just like this.
Oh. Do you think I can make a copy of this to put into my article?
Oh, Frank, you can have that one. It's 3 years expired.
Oh, thanks. And what about your ID badge? You have an extra one I could borrow?
Oh, no, I can't help you there. It's a special order from Polaroid. The only way to get one of those is to become a real live pilot for Pan American Air.
They lost a uniform. Happens all the time. Go down to the well-built uniform company at 9th and Broadway. They are uniform supplier. I'll tell Mr. Rosen you're coming.
You look too young to be a pilot.
I'm a co-pilot.
Why so nervous?
How'd you feel if you, lost your uniform first week on the job?
Relax. Pan Am's got lots of uniforms. It's going to be $164.
Great. I'll write you a check.
Sorry, no checks, no cash. You'll have to fill in your employee ID number, and then I'll bill Pan Am. I'll take it out in your next paycheck.
On the run, Frank had to flee because Pan Am police started catching on him. So he decided to pursue another profession. He became a pedestrian at a hospital in Georgia. When a patient or a nurse questions Frank, usually do not know the answer because he is not the real pedestrian. He will use a humor as a defense mechanism for his lack of knowledge. He also pawned his duty off on the nurse. Now, I'm going to show you the clip from a movie, Catch Me If You Can, when he was impersonating a pedestrian.
Gentlemen, what seems to be the problem?
Bicycle accident. Fractured tibia about 5 inches below patella.
Dr. Harris,
Yes?
do you concur
Concur with what, sir?
with what Dr. Ashland just said? Do you concur?
Well, it was a bicycle accident. The boy told us.
So you concur?
Concur?
I think we should take an x-ray, then stitch him out and put him in a walking cast.
Very good, Dr. Ashland, very good. Well, you don't seem to have much need for me. Carry on.
Blew it, didn't I? Why didn't I concur?
One day, Frank realized that he was not fit to be a pedestrian or a doctor after a child almost lost their life because of him. Because of that, he decided to skip town and seek for another profession. Next, he forged a Harvard University law transcripts. He passed a Louisiana's bar exam and he got a job at the Louisiana State Attorney General's office. Frank's co-worker, which is a real Harvard graduate, questioned Frank about his attendance in Harvard. And he also making inquiries and asking Frank a lot of questions about Harvard, about his background in Harvard. So Frank was not being suspicious. He has to run away and skip town.